spreadsheet analysis is available here. I think this is maybe better. I think. Okay, here it is. Okay. 아 뭐야 이게? 이게 클릭이 안 되고. 어쨌든 이걸 다운로드 받아서. Okay, so again, this is the data. Okay, this is exactly the data. It is the current index, and this is log of this one. Okay, I just calculated. It is return. I just calculated, and it is the simulated values. Okay, and this 1, 2, 3, 4 is the same to my previous one. Where is it? It's same to 1, 2, 3, 4. Same to why it is slightly different. Okay. It should be same. 208, 227. Okay, right? Okay, this is very important. This is our historical data. These are the daily past 10 years daily return, and each of them is a possible scenario. And we apply each of these possible scenario to this one, and we get the possible KOSPI 200 values over here. Okay? Yes, they are linked like this. For example, something like this. This one multiply this one. So for each possible value of KOSPI 200, now what we can do? We can calculate our profit from the triangle. Okay? Let's go to the figure. Okay? We know this figure, so each possible value of this one, we can know whether we can make profit or loss, right? So historical analysis is basically, this is the formula, okay? So this looks complicated, but it is actually not complicated because it is simply the functional form of this one. So first, 1.8 billion is something like this. So 1.8 billion minus, okay, minus we have first put option position, right? Put option is max of this one. Put option's exercise price was 252.5 minus D4. D4 is simulated KOSPI 200 and 0, okay? This is the put option position, and contract value of the put option is 1 to 100,000, right? As I explained, number of contract is 100,000, and how many contract to have? Contract unit is 100,000, and how many contract do they have in our article? It says that they have contract of 180,000, right? So this is the amount of the short position in put option, okay? And next is the amount of the call option. Short position in call option, okay? Again, let's review our call option. Call option is, okay, sell call option by 70,000 contracts, and exercise price is 2.5, 7.5, and contract size is 100,000 of index. Therefore, okay, this is the underlying asset price, which is D4. It is our simulation value. And this is the exercise price of the call option, 2.5, 7.5, and 0. This is call option 5. And contract size is 100,000, so we multiply 100,000, and dark horse fund has 70,000 contracts, so we multiply 70,000 contracts. So this is simply functional position. So it is the shape of the graph. Right? Yes? 그건 그러니까 거래할 때, 저는 옵션 하나 거래할 때 최소한, 그러니까 거의 계약당 그렇게 거래를 한다는 거지. 그 룰이에요. 네. 그래서 한 계약하면 거기에서 인덱스, 한 계약이 뭐냐면 인덱스 곱하기 10만 하면 거래가 된다. 그냥 규칙이에요, 규칙. 네. 이거 자체가 한 계약 사이즈가 여기서부터 여기까지 is one contract size from here to here. Okay, they so I mean, not anyone can trade in the option market. They should have a certain amount of quantity. That minimum amount of quantity is in some sense 100,000 unit of the index. Okay. Okay. So since we know, so basically, so simply speaking, this is the shape of this graph. So what you want to know is whenever we have simulated volume, we find the profit and loss. Okay. Therefore, since this is the daily return, and this is simulated cost P. Okay. And then this is simulated profit upon our historical analysis. Okay. Then from this, we could generate this number of these possible. So in this case, if this scenario happens, dark horse fund lose this amount of money. If this scenario happens, then it is between the band, so they make 1.8 billion. So for each case, we can calculate their profit or loss for each possible scenario based on past 10 years daily return. Okay. Any question until now? Okay. 아주 간단하지. 오케이. 아주 간단하죠? 네. 이거 간단해요. 오케이. 그럼 what now we can do is historical analysis 여기 있네. 이걸 좀 숨기고 일단 GH 이건 중학생도 할 수 있는 거예요, 사실. 숨기기. 오케이. historical analysis. 오케이. So what we in the end have is all possible profit losses based on our scenario. Okay. Now what we can do is we can sort this one from the largest to the minimum, right? Largest is of course 1.8 billion. The profit cannot exceed 1.8 billion, right? So once we sort this one, then maybe we can pick the lowest 1%. And then we can find the border value, right? Remember, in our definition of value at risk, what loss level is such that we are 99% confident that it will not exceed the N business. So it is 1 day. We are first in this 1 day. Then in 1 day, what is the 99% value of the constant? So we can sort this one from top to bottom, and the top to bottom we can 99%, and then bottom is 1%, and we will find the border value, and the border value is 1% is this one. In Excel we have a convenience function called percentile. This percentile function is first we set the range from this entire value, and M2 is 1%. Okay, so we are interested in 99% confidence. So which means we are looking for last 1 point value, border value, and which is called percentile. So in this range, I want to find the value at the exact 1%, which is how much is that? Million, billion, okay? 159 billion, 580 million, 843,793, okay? And 5% is also easy, right? Again, we can apply exactly percentile function, and in this range, I want to find, so it is a sorted value. I don't even have to sort it. So I am looking for this value, such that this is 5%. Okay, I'm looking for this value, and this is the around $81 billion. Okay, so what I can say is that I am 19. If we believe this historical simulation, I am 99% confident that my loss will not exceed this value in 1 day, right? And in this case, I am 95% confident that my loss will not exceed this value from here, from today to next day, in one day. Okay, it makes sense, right? How about 10 days? The rule of sum is that here we can simply multiply square root 10. Okay, so it means that I am 99% sure that my loss will not exceed this value and risk value. This is called value and risk for the next 10 days. I am 95% certain that my loss will not exceed this value next 10 days. Okay, so it's very easy, right? So we can make a conclusion, okay? Conclusion that historical analysis. Okay. Again, let's summarize what we have done. Multiply daily return realized for the last 10 years to KOSPI 200 value at November 10, okay, today. This generates simulated index values at November 11 based on historically realized return for the last 10 years. Second, we evaluate strangle position at each simulated index value. Third, we find 1% and 5 quantile values, which is percentile value in essay, to find the 99% and 95% one-day value at risk, and compute 10-day value at risk by multiplying 10-day by multiplying 10. Okay, and this is simple, right? So in the end, okay, the answers are one day VAR is, as I said, one day bar. Okay, one day VAR value is one day bar is like 200 billion, 99%. Okay, then 116 billion or 95% bar. Okay, you can simply square root 10 times one day bar to take the 10-day bar. So anyway, thus minimum capital requirement for the wise asset management is, okay, 1.80. The value is, which is, okay, I think this is over here. So regulators usually require a bank capital for the market risk to be at least 3 times of the 10-day 99 value risk. Okay, so usually what regulator requires is 3 times of 10-day 99% value risk. So therefore, it is this one. So what regulators requires that we should have at least 3 times of this one. This is what bank requires. Okay, and then what regulators requires. This is slightly, we have a slightly different value, but anyway, I think it's anyway, yeah, we should go here. So yeah, 1.8. Why it is different? Change it. Anyway, 3 times of the, I think the number is wrong. So what we require is that 3 times of this one, and then let's see, it is 3 times of, I think this is right, 125. 1495. 이상한데? 약간 에러가 있네. 이 숫자를 제가 다시 한번 체크하겠습니다. 어쨌든, 네. 어쨌든 anyway, let's repeat again. Regulators usually require bank capital market to be at least 3 times of 10-day 99% VAR. So if wise asset management abide by the rule, they have at least should have this amount. This one multiplied by 3, okay, which is 1.5 billion. Actually, not 1.5, 1 trillion, 1.5 trillion, okay, USD, which is 1.5 trillion. 1.5 trillion is actually much larger than a firm's loss was 88 billion, right? We said that the value was this 8 billion, right? And then 88 billion, and which is actually much larger than that value. Okay. Okay, 88 billion. Oh, okay. Sorry. It is in Korean. Yeah. Okay. 88 billion Korean won. 88 billion Korean won. So, 88 billion Korean won. Let's go to the problem. YGS management lost around 88 billion, which is I think I have error. I have error. Okay. Why this one has so many errors? Okay. 88 billion. Anyway, if they abide by the rule that they should have 3 times of 10-day 1%, 99% bar, which is around this value. If they have this one in the capital, their loss was 88 billion. This is much greater than this one, right? So if they abide by the rule, this 88 billion must be nothing. Okay. Since they have this amount of money, they can pay out this one. Okay. So therefore, if they had this money, abide by the rule, they would have no difficulties in honoring the contract. Right? This could have prevent the disaster in the market. Okay, so this is until now what we showed is like a historical simulation or analysis. So any question? Okay. So it is like similar to what we want was we are suppose is like a possible value of the histogram. Okay, suppose it is a histogram of the profit. Okay, and what we are looking for was this one. So this was 1%, and this is called value at risk. Okay, so this is what we investigated. And we actually simulated this return structure is slightly different, but we simulated these possible cost P100 values using possible historical returns. Okay? So that is one strategy. And second strategy is actually called Monte Carlo simulation. Okay? Let's go to our Excel file again. In our Excel file, okay, what we did is that we multiply from the yesterday's cost P closing price, we multiplied basically historical daily returns, right? That was our strategy, and we simulated cost P values. Now, actually there are alternative strategy. This is strategy of simulating cost value based on historical return. Another strategy is actually if we know mean and standard deviation of this one, okay, and if we know this follows some sort of normal distribution, for example, then we can directly simulate those values, right? So let me show that strategy again. So let me unhide, okay, unhide, okay. So so standard deviation, okay. How can I see this one and this one together? Okay. First, we can calculate the standard deviation of our historical data. So standard deviation is 활표 어디서 찾지 이게? 활표 참조되는 셀 지역. Okay. So first we can get the standard deviation all the past return. Okay. Second, we can calculate the average. Okay. We can calculate the average of the. Okay. We can also calculate average of the past 10-year daily return. Okay. Okay. And then this is of course minimum or so not important. So suppose, okay, suppose we can assume that this all past returns follow normal distribution, okay, normal distribution with mean is normal distribution, then is mean is this one, is standard deviation is this one. We can calculate this one, right, from historical data. And if it follows normal distribution, now we can simulate new returns, right, based on this and this, right? So what I do is I simulate the returns. Okay. What I can do is now I can do is, okay, first I calculate mean and average and standard deviation, and then what I can do is now I can do mean plus standard deviation and some epsilon is from n 0 1, okay, right? Then for each simulation, okay, I can calculate possible daily return, right? I can calculate this one and this one with historical data, and I can simulate this one, okay. 왜 갑자기 지워졌지? Okay. Simulate this one. So in Excel, actually we have very convenient function. Okay, so we have called function called norm inverse, and then you can simply I can explain this one later. But if we do this one, if we use this Excel function, it generates standard normal distribution. Standard distribution with mean of this one and variance of this one. So basically what I did is I'm doing this one. Okay. So given the mean and standard deviation, now I can simulate a random number, which is, so this is all possible returns again, which is generated from normal distribution with mean of this one, standard deviation this one. Okay. So how many simulation I did? I did simulation of I did simulation 3,000 times. Okay. Obviously, in the previous 10 years data, my data size was it is like here like 2,500, right? But now that was the length of the historical data. But now I can simulate, so which means that I can simulate as much as I want. So this is one advantage. So now I can simulate 3,000, but I can simulate 3 billion simulations, right? So one advantage of a simulation is I can simulate more numbers. So again, next procedure is same. For each simulated returns. Okay, I multiplied, okay, this 255. Let's click with this one. Okay, what I did is yesterday cos 200 and I multiply basically this simulated return, which is before multiply the exponential of this value. Then I have simulated cos 200, but it is same simulation, but not based on historical simulation. Okay, it is a from standard normal distribution with mean and variance there. Okay. Okay, this one. And the thing is, everything is same. For each possible cos 200 simulated values, I can calculate profit and loss of the strangle position. Again, this is same. This is same. And so I simulated this one, and then based on this, I can calculate my 1%, 5% value, critical values, which is the percentile of the K2, okay, and then this entire data set, okay, entire data set, okay, entire data set. So from this analysis, I can calculate 1 day 99% value at risk, and we multiply root 10, okay, what I can get is 10 day 99% value at risk. Here I find, okay, I find 5% critical value, which is the in 1 day, so which is 1 day 95% value at risk, and I multiply square root of 10, so it is 10 day 95% value at risk. So I could get this one, okay. And then since we have 10 day value at risk, so I can simply multiply by 3. I think it's 9 times. Okay. It's 3. Okay. And then the value is the, so yeah, this is the answer. Yes, so it's 1.57.6 billion, 1.08 billion, and 5%. Anyway, yeah. And then simply, then I get the value at risk. So regulators usually require bank capital for market risk to be at least 3 times our 10-day 99% value at risk. So it should be this one multiplied by root 10 multiplied by 3. That's something they should have, which is $1,495 billion, which is again greater than their loss. Okay. Greater than their loss of 88 billion. Okay. Therefore, if they abide by the rule and hold the minimum capital of this one in their balance sheet, they could have prevented the disaster well. Okay. Again, the procedure is simulate return from N0. Here I didn't use 0, but I can, it doesn't matter. We can use either 0 or here you get 1.7, okay, 1.73%, and this is very close to 0, so it doesn't matter whether you use this value or 0, but here I use 0. And then multiply this simulated return to cos 200 value at 1 day before the option shock, which is 253.13, and this Google one simulated value of this one. Value the strength at each simulated value, and I iterated it many times. Here I iterate only 3,000 times, only 3,000 times. So whenever I do the simulation, this value changes, right? Right. Whenever I do the simulation, those value changes, right? Because I did only 3,000 times. But if I do it like many times, these values are very stable. Okay. Very stable. So and then I can calculate 1 day, 10-day value at risk, and 99% and 95% using percentile function of that. Okay. Any question? And then there is also something called the stress test. Stress testing estimated how a firm's portfolio would have performed under the most extreme moves in the past 10 to 20 years. Okay? So in the stress test, we are assuming the worst case scenario. Okay? Of course, the worst case scenario is minimum return over the last 10 days, right? Here, right? Here the minimum, okay? Here the minimum value is I can calculate minimum, okay? I can calculate minimum for the possible 10-day daily return, and then we have minimum function. Minimum value is minus 12%. So which means that for the last 10 days, an event of 12% drop had actually occurred. Okay? And our stress test is what if that worst case scenario happens again. Okay? So it is very easy. Okay? In our 10-year data, the most extreme moves were first minus 12% and plus 11%. Okay? To apply minus 12%, the loss would be 521 billion, which is again far larger than realized loss of 88 billion Korean won. 88 billion Korean won. So, which means that if the dark horse fund conducted this value risk analysis and calculate minimum capital requirement or like a stress test, and if they did cautious and prudent risk management, they must have avoided this disaster. Any question? Do you have any question? 질문 있어요? 질문? 어렵지 않죠? 네? 굉장히 인투이티브하죠? 그러니까 밸류 리스크가 뭐냐면 여러분은 배워도 신뢰도 구하는 거하고 똑같은 거잖아. 그렇죠? 신뢰 구간에서 95%면 1.96이고 99%는 2.3인가 뭐 막 그런 거 있잖아. 그거 찾는 거랑 사실은 똑같은 거지. 여러분 고등학교 때 이런 거 비슷한 문제도 풀어봤을 거야. 질문 없나요? 이걸 가지고 R로 한번 다시 복습을 해보겠습니다. 잠시 후에 R로 만들어봤으니까. So homework due next week is develop R code about this option shop. Okay. Actually, this is your answer. Okay. But I just figured out you cannot access this one. Right? So you have to somehow memorize this one. Now. Okay. So anyway, I'll go. I don't worry. I will line by line about the homework. So homework. First one is delete all memory. Okay. Second, first I define the profit function of our short straddle position. So it is a unit is unit is a billion Korean won, right? Billion Korean won because it is billion Korean won because okay. In the option shop, let me go to the figure again. Okay. Figure again. So contract size is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have so it is 100,000 and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have this number of units. So if we use billion unit, okay, billion unit, we can simply it is much easier. It is 18 and 7, right? So that's why I use billion unit. So if we use unit as a billion Korean won as a unit, a profit function is something like this. So in the straddle position, maximum is 1.8, and then this part is put option position, and this part call option position. So what I did, I defined a profit function of the short straddle position. So in this function, if I put, so it is profit x, looks like profit x. So if we put some value on x, and it calculates this value and generate this output. Okay. So this one. First, of course, I have to upload the data. So I call it as a data to read CSV, something like this. My working directory is this one. My working directory. And then in my working directory, in my working directory, I have a TMP and option. This is my working directory, and I saved the file called cosp. So let me open this file, and this is my file. Looks like this one. Okay, so this is my data set. So I read this data. So I read this data, and so let me run from here to here. Okay. Where is R? R. Right. Okay, so I run my function, my own defined function, and I uploaded data. Data read CSV, pass, CI wrote, I read, CSV file, and header is true, right? Header was true, so it is fine. So let me type the data, and it looks like this. So this is correct. And the second column of the my data set is the part I need. Okay, the second part is what I need. Therefore, first I defined return looks like this. So return is the one. Okay. I use this function called return. Okay. Here, so return is negative of the difference. So in Excel, no, in R, we have a very convenient function called DIFF. So DIFF is like lag. So, okay, I use log of the second column of the data, right? So this is my data, and I take log, and if I take diff, then it calculates difference between previous one and t minus 1 and t. But I need a difference between, what I need is log, okay? Log, okay? Log st minus log st minus 1, right? This is what I need, right? What I need, but if I use only DIFF, it calculates the other way, because I sorted the data such that earliest one is at the bottom and least one is at the top in our data, right? Usually when people do the analysis, it is by order of the time, but in our data set, it is the inverse of the order of the time, right? That's why I have to put minus in front of DIFF. So, okay, in that way, I calculate returns. And then third, I can max standard deviation and mean, okay? I can calculate standard deviation and mean. Okay, so, okay. 메시지가 손실되었습니다. Anyway, it is fine, okay? So, S is this one, so mean. Mu is this one. Okay, so actually S is not necessary. I calculate mean and variance. So mean is, as I said, is 0.017, and mu is something like this. Okay. Strange. Mean, standard deviation, quality. Quality looks like this. This is weird. So okay, anyway, although I have error message, the value is apparently right. So anyway, I calculated mean and standard deviation to do the simulation. Okay. So next, okay, next I want to do simulation like this. Okay. This part is like this. Okay. What I did is number of simulation is 10,000. So in previous Excel file, I did simulation only 3,000 times, right? But here I did simulation of 10,000 times. Okay, even 10,000 times is actually not enough. Okay, not enough. But anyway, let's do the simulation 10,000 times, and let's define P0 is first element of the second column data 1, 2. So each is the most recent data point. It is the stock price, KOSPI 200 price, and November 10th, right? So P0 is this one. And next, R1 is my simulated value. Okay, my simulated value. So I simulate 10,000 times with mean 0. Alternatively, instead of 0, of course, I can put mu over here, but it does not matter. But it is because it is so close to 0. And I calculate R norm, random number from normal distribution. How many times? Anything. Okay? 10,000 times with mean 0, standard deviation is 1.7%. So R1 is my simulated response. Okay, so R1 looks like this. Okay, R1 looks like this. Okay. Yeah, R1 looks like this. And second, R2 is square root of this one. So R2 is what? R2 is if I multiplied root 10, okay, root 10, so it is R1 minus root 10, so it is like a 10 day. So 10 day return, okay. 10 day return. And P2. So P2 is a matrix 0 and M2. What is this? Why I defined this one? So it is a, for convenience, I think there are smarter way. I know how to do that, but I think it's for educational purpose. It is right. First, I set a dummy matrix. Such that P2 is filled with 0. It is a matrix filled with 0, and it has a 2 column. Length of the row, number of row is 10,000, and it has a 2 column. And then in this, I fill each P2 with the profit. So basically I'm simulating the profit. So for each, okay, so my P2 is look like this. Original is 0, 0, 0, 0, looks like this. And I fill this one with 1 day profit and using 10 day profit. Okay. So what I did is, if I multiply P0 and exponential of the R1, then it is my KOSPI 200 value 1 day later. And if I multiply P0 and exponential of R2, it is square root 10, then it is returned for 2 days, 10 days later. Right? Also, this P0 EXP R1 is simulated KOSPI 200 tomorrow. It is a simulated KOSPI 200 10 days later. And for each simulated value, I apply profit and I fill P2 matrix with profit. Okay, profit from the triangle position. Okay. Okay. So this P2 is my simulated value. So next to a simple. First, I use quantile function. Okay. So let's implement this part. Quick, very quick, okay, very quick. So let's say P2 is filled with my simulated profit. Okay, simulated profit. So in many cases it is 1.8, something like that. So it is my simulated values. Now I understand what's wrong with my Excel. So Excel is some error. So anyway, so what I first calculated using in order to calculate 1 day value at least. one-day value at risk. So I use, okay, P21 first column for the P2 matrix, and then I want critical value of 0.01 and 0.05. So therefore, it is one-day value at risk for 99% and 95%. For D2, again, I calculate the quantile. Okay, quantile. I calculate quantile based on bottom 1% and bottom 5%. Therefore, it generates 10-day value at risk for 99% and 95%. And 10-day value at risk, no, I think it is not necessary. So let's calculate this one. Okay. So let's do this one. So D2 and D3 is, so basically what I did 3 ways: D1, D2, D3. Okay. Actually, so I calculated basically D1 is one-day value at risk for 99% and 95%. So unit is again billion. And this one is first, there is two ways to calculate 10-day value at risk. In D2 is first, I calculate 10-day return first and calculate the profit. Third one is I calculate profit from 1 day first and then multiply root 10. So actually this is, I think I prefer this approach. But anyway, value is not that different. Okay. D2 is actually larger. Okay. What? Yeah, Columbine. So D1, D2, D3 is this one. D1. This one. So this one is error. So you ignore this one. The C is this one. So please remember this one. So I just calculate D1, D2, D3, and I just want to show everything to you together. And the capital requirement is of the third times of either D2 and D3. If we use D3, okay, so capital requirement is 1241 and 745. And if we use D2, then it is a capital requirement 1488 and 1028. 1488. This is what I use in our one 1495. Yes, so this is I think what I use. I use D4. I multiply 3 to the D2, not D3. Okay, so this is what I have. So I mean in this case I did the simulation only 10 times. Only what? How many times? 10,000 times. If we do the simulation more, 100,000 times, I think this one has closer value. So let's do this one. More. So it takes some time. But again, let's go D4. Looks like this. But if I calculate D2 multiplied by 3, then 1487, which is 14, slightly different, but I think 1487. I think 1488. Interesting. Still, it is slightly different. But anyway, this number should be more similar. I think if I do the more simulation, I think you will have similar value. But anyway, this is the first step. Okay? So it is the simulation, Monte Carlo simulation based approach of calculating value at risk. Okay? First, any question? Okay, no question. Okay? Yeah. What do you mean by? 있죠. 근데 여러분한테는 안 보일 뿐이지. 네, 여러분이 이제 숙제니까 숙제를 그러면 여러분 누구나 다 카피 앤 페이스트해서 낼 거 아니야. 그래서 여러분 직접 해보라고. 난 이제 설명을 해주는 거고 힌트를 주는 거고. Okay? So anyway, this is Monte Carlo simulation. Second, let's do historical value and risk approach. Again, first, our H naught is what is H naught is why I have 0 over here. I think it is some sort of stupid, very stupid. But anyway, what I did is first I define H0 matrix. So H0 matrix is simply P0. H0 matrix is P0 multiplied exponential of past return. So it is a simulated Cospi 200 based on past scenarios. Okay. And second, I multiply 0 to the H0 to the scenario. Okay. This is a bit stupid approach, but H1 is filled with 0, exactly same size of the H1, and I will fill each H1 with the profit of the strangle position, and then therefore I'll fill for I in 1, 2 lengths of H1. Okay, I'll fill each ith element in H1 matrix with profit based on this scenario H0. Okay? Okay. So therefore, H1 is my simulated profit. Simulated profit based on triangle position. Okay. Simulated profit based on triangle position. Okay. So therefore, once now next step is very easy. Since I generate this triangle position, next what I can do is I calculate 1 day value at risk first. H2 is 1 day value at risk. Okay. So quantile, so based on this H1, which is my simulated profit, I want to find the quantile value, which is critical value at 1.5%. So basically, so this is my 1 day 99% value at risk. Of course, I need plus over here. Okay, 105.9 billion Korean won and 80 billion won. Okay, and then next, since I am interested in 10-day value at risk. Okay, now I multiply square root of the 10, so I can get H3. So it is my 10-day 99% value at risk, 10-day 95% value at risk. Okay, third, now I can calculate capital requirement. Capital requirement is 3 times of 10-day value at risk. Okay, so my H4 capital requirement is basically 1513 billion capital requirement. Okay, that's what I calculated. And then stress testing. Stress testing is, of course, there are in triangle position I lose money if we have very large return or very negative return. So I take into account both cases. So I calculated minimum of the past returns and maximum of past return and changed it by exponential rate growth return and multiply P0, and so therefore I can calculate possible losses at extreme scenarios, extreme positive scenario, minimum scenario, extreme positive scenario. Okay. Okay, so S1, S2 is looks like this. So S1 and S2. Okay, so apparently I lose more money in the extreme negative case. So I stress test. In order to pass the stress test, I need 500 billion capital at least. You can ignore this part. Okay, simple, right? So this is what you have to do in your homework. Any question? 아니요, 근데 엑셀에 있는 게 살짝 지금 에러가 포함되어 있을 거예요. 예. 제가 여러분의 이해하기 좋게 이렇게 했는데 아무튼 네, 제가 방금 설명한 대로 하면 됩니다. 네. 엑셀에 있는 거 R로 바꿔도 되고, 예. 뭐 그래도 크게 틀리진 않으니까. 네, 뭐 그런 겁니다. 근데 숫자들이 약간씩 다르겠지. 히스토리컬 바는 똑같겠지만 시뮬레이션 바는 다르겠지. 시뮬레이션 할 때마다 다르니까. 엄청나게 많은 시뮬레이션 하면 똑같겠지만 예, 한 1000번, 3000번 정도는 계속 달라지겠네. 한 100만 번의 스테이블 밸류가 나와. So this is your homework. Just reproduce what I explained and I'll delete this one. 이 폴더를 영구적으로 삭제하시겠습니까? Yes. 다시 시도. 뭐야 이게? 네. 온창 닫기. 아, 안 지워지네. 아, 그래도 just in case. 이것 때문인가? 이것도 닫고 저장. 아니요. 아, 됐다. 네. So 창 닫기, 탭 모두 닫기. 그다음에 탐색기 열기, C, TMP 비어 있습니다. 휴지통 비우기. 비울 필요도 없네. 이미 영구적으로 삭제해서. Okay, so this is your homework. Any question? And by the way, how are your projects going? Okay, as you know, you have to submit your own project as a term paper for this class. You have to collect your own data and you have to do some sort of econometrics analysis. This is very important. That is like 20% of your grade. So please work very hard about your